The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, show number 201. 201, that's the serial number. So glad you joined us today on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. So glad because we always set forth to entertain, inform, and inspire. And I think today we're going to have some great information for you. A lot of tremendous content with great guests. So whether you're listening right here in Houston, Texas, where we broadcast the show, or anywhere else, perhaps Laguna Beach, California, Washington, D.C., it doesn't matter. We think you'll find the show very informative, entertaining, and even inspiring. So Real Estate Matters, we're brought to you every week by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. So let's get started. First of all, one of our most interesting things we deal with in the real estate world, I think anywhere, but certainly here in Houston, Texas, taxes. Property taxes. We're legendary for having high property taxes. No state income tax, but we hear it all the time. Our taxes are high for our homes. We have a tax expert today. His name is Ali Gilan with American Property Tax. He is the senior property tax consultant. Ali, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
It is great to see you. And, of course, taxes, we need to be more informed. I think everybody listening can learn a little bit more about property taxes, and we're so glad you're here for that reason. First of all, let's tell people about what you do and your company.
Well, our company's been around for almost 30 years now, and we handle all ad valorem property tax protest appeals and compliance.
And when we think about taxes, it can be very confusing to the average person. So first of all, one of the things that we come up with as we own a home is the homestead exemption. Let's tell people a little bit about the homestead exemption.
Well, the homestead exemption, it's a very rich exemption, and you're only allowed one exemption in the state of Texas. So if you have 10 homes, you're only allowed exemption on one of them, and that's the one you have to live in. Expanding on that, it's about a 20% deduction from your market value, and the different jurisdictions basically discount it for you, and it's capped. So, for example, if they increase your property tax value by about $100,000 the next year, it'll only go up by 10% max.
So that's a very valuable tool for the homeowner to make sure that we take advantage of the homestead exemption.
Correct. Yes, and a lot of people don't know about it.
So really, they don't know about it. However, it might be the easiest part of the tax thing to understand.
Absolutely, and it's free to do yourself. You just fill out the form, print it out, take it in with the 2 driver's licenses if you're married, and you need 2 signatures on there. It's a piece of cake.
So whenever we close our home, let's say someone closes a home, let's take September, for example, when should they fill out the homestead exemption?
Well, as long as you were in the home by January 1st, of the next tax year,
which will be 2018.
2018, you fully apply. You fully qualify.
So when we should do that then right away?
You can do that right away. You can do that in the tax year of 2018, and since it's retroactive, you can even do it in 2019 and receive a refund for 2018.
Very nice. So the other thing that happens in the world of we buy these homes and the appraisal value. Let's talk a little bit before we get into the value part, but there's also a protest. Now, we can protest if the taxing authority says our home is worth, I don't know, $500,000, but for some reason we have evidence or think it's worth $400,000. We have access to a process where we can protest. Let's talk a little bit about that from your perspective.
Okay, so your value generally goes out between April and March or April of, for example, 2018, and then you have the actual deadline to file the protest is May 31st or 30 days after you receive your notice, whichever is later. So, for example, if you receive your notice in September 2nd, your new deadline to file the protest will be in October 2nd, so 30 days after that.
So why would they say, I guess they make mistakes too. They might forget and get caught up in some kind of system and send it to you later.
Well, some neighborhoods, and because Harris County, I'm using Harris County as an example, is the largest county in as far as number of parcels in the United States. So they have a lot of neighborhoods they need to appraise. So it may get noticed later on in the year, which is not uncommon. But for the bulk of the properties, I would say 70% of the properties, they're generally noticed April, March of 2018, and then you have until May to file your protest by law.
So a diligent homeowner, we want to be on the lookout in March and April to see what our taxing amount, what the amount is that they're going to tax us, right?
Correct. They're going to send you a letter in the mail. It's called a notice of appraised value, and that's what you need to look for.
So some people will say, oh, I agree with that. And then if they do, they just march right on and go down the road. However, sometimes, what are the things we should look for to know that we're maybe being taxed too much on this or the value that they assigned is too much? What would be some of the red flags from your perspective?
Well, the first thing to look for is homes that have been selling for less. Obviously, you live in the neighborhood. You know the neighborhood. You know what's going on, houses up for sale, you know what something's sold for, you have an idea, you know what they're listing for. So you're starting to see that these houses are listing for a lot less than what you're valued at. That's red flag number one.
There's a red flag right there.
The second red flag is if you do your due diligence, get online and actually check your neighbor's values, you could see, hey, some of my neighbor's values are a lot less than mine. Why is that? Am I being treated unfairly? And yes, they have something called unequal appraisal.
Now, how will we know what the other homes are being appraised for? Where should they go to find that out?
Correct. So once you've clicked on the address of your neighbor, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, there's an appraisal card there. It'll tell you what year the house was built, if it had a remodel, the kind of remodel it had, so on and so forth. So,
and what you're referring to, I'm thinking, is the hcad.com.
hcad.org.
hcad.org. So when we can look and see not just what our home's appraised at, but we could see right down the neighborhood, right across the street and on the same street we're on, right?
Correct. You can search by owner name, by address, by account number.
I wonder how many people do that, Ollie.
Very few.
Probably a small percentage, but we have tools. I guess part of the message here is we have tools so that we don't spend more. We want to pay our fair share, but we don't want to spend more than we need to. And I think the average person may not use the tools available. So right there, we should go to hcad.org. When we find out what they're assessing us for on our home, let's take a look down the line and see if it's in line and if things are equal.
And another thing is when you're doing that, make sure you look at the market value, not the appraised value. The appraised value is what your homestead value, basically you're being capped at. Your market value is what your house could or would sell for.
Very important. So that's the market value that we want to look at. Now, let's say we get to the point where we are going to protest our taxes and we disagree. Give us a word there about what people should do if they suspect things are out of line or if they're going to try to save some money.
Sure. So for the first thing I recommend, if you're going to completely do this thing yourself, the condition and quality of your home, pictures, estimates, if you recently had a new appraisal done on your home, and of course, the most valuable tool you can get from your real estate agent is comparable sales for your neighborhood. However, you're going to need to adjust, per grade, if the house had a remodel or not. And if you don't know how to do any of that, there's certainly a software available online that can help you do all of it with one click.
Let's take another example. Let's say somebody buys their home September. They buy a home and they pay $300,000 for it, and here comes next year in May where they get the appraised market value is $350,000.
Okay,
what should they do?
The best evidence any homeowner has is the current closing statement of the home. If you just purchased your home and the commissions have been paid showing that this was an open market transaction, the best thing you can use is your closing statement.
So right there, that one piece of paper can save us some money should we be appraised higher than what we actually paid for it.
Yes, and as long as the sale occurred between 1/1 of 17 to about 2/1 of 18, that's the window that HCAD likes to use as far as market sales go.
So that sounds like it's a powerful tool also at our disposal.
It is. Even if you've missed the protest deadline, you can file a small correction and include that closing statement and still get your value even if you miss the deadline. And that's something a lot of people don't know.
Now, let's say we get to the part where there's actually a hearing or that sort of thing. What are the circumstances where someone has to go down, or where we enlist the services of somebody? I guess we could do that as well. But what happens if we actually go to and have a hearing with the taxing authorities? What should we do there?
There's a 3-step process. First off, if you don't like to go to HCAD and sit there and wait,
wait a minute,
in the lobby,
does? By the way.
So if you don't like to even visit their facility and you've got a pretty clear-cut case, you can actually do your appeal online through a product they rolled out called iFile.
All right, let's repeat that. We can do it online. I like that. iFile, right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's hcad.org/iFile.
There you go, right there. So they can do it online. However, are there circumstances where maybe you don't want to do it online, where you actually want to go down there and go through the rigors of doing it in person?
Okay.
Should you do that?
The first thing I do recommend is the iFile process. Now, if you don't have a meeting of the minds of the iFile process, you can still have your informal and formal hearing at HCAD. Now, if you want to do that, HCAD's going to send you a hearing date and time in the mail, and all you do is you show up at your date and time. Now, if you cannot make that date and time, they'll reschedule you up to 2 times, I believe, if you're a homeowner. So you do have that power to reschedule.
This sounds a little bit like jury duty, just a side note, but go ahead.
So anyway, when you do show up to the hearing, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need the documents I've presented to you. For example, your closing statement, your pictures, evidence, anything that you want to turn in for your informal level. And you meet with an appraiser one-on-one, very informal, very relaxed, no stress. You just show your evidence and they show theirs, and you either come to an agreement or not.
Okay.
If you don't come to an agreement, you can go into the formal hearing, which is you, an appraiser, and 3 ARB members. ARB stands for Appraisal Review Board. Now, they are going to be the ones making the decision, not the appraiser. But if the appraiser ends up agreeing with you, there can be a harmony, and then the ARB is no longer has jurisdiction over the hearing. So then everyone gets their value, everyone's happy, and you're done with it. Now, if they don't agree with you, there's a couple of steps you can take after that. But when you do go to your ARB, I do recommend you take 5 copies of your evidence, because there's 3 ARB members, there's the appraiser, that's 4, and then yourself, that's 5.
Very interesting. With the last minute or so, Ali, would you tell people, also with Harvey, what nuances happened with Hurricane Harvey in terms of our appraisals there? What should we know about it?
Okay, so just a little quick rundown here. So over 186,000 homes were affected. Now, the CAD will be replatting all the maps showing the new flood zones.
And when does that happen?
They're working on that now. So the CAD, by CAD I mean County Appraisal District. So HCAD has been asked by local jurisdictions to be reappraised. And those jurisdictions that have already passed this resolution are Katy ISD, Cy-Fair ISD, and Spring Branch ISD. Now, HISD has not passed the resolution yet, though I know that they're working on it. What do you do if your value's unchanged as far as Harvey's concerned and you were affected? Well, you need to have the condition of the house as of 1/1/18. So, for example, if your house got flooded and you did all your repairs, and as of January 1st of 2018, you were 100% again, well,
a lot of people are in that boat.
A lot of people are. However, they will now be have to be purchasing flood insurance because they will be in a flood zone. So that goes with the house, full disclosure. So if the house flooded, you have to tell them it's a flooded house. And that usually has a negative bearing on the home value.
On the market value.
And then the other things you would need to present is photos, estimates, insurance rejection letters, FEMA transmittals, etc. Also, if you get in touch with your real estate agent, if there's any fire sales of similar homes in your neighborhood from the time of the flood until February of 2018. What I mean by fire sales is people just got scared.
Well, they sold it as is, maybe.
They sold it as is and walked
on
away.
I know a lot of people in that scenario as well.
And those help.
Let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Well, we don't have a website. We're kind of a boutique firm. But if you want to give us a call, you have some more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. My phone number is 281-240-0101, and my extension is 302.
He is Ali Gilan, American Property Tax. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more taxes. We love it.
Stewart Title has been serving Texas for over 120 years. A Texas treasure, Stewart Title's longevity is a testimony to superior service, innovation, and knowing what their customers want. Recent surveys show that 92% of respondents want secure online tracking tools to help them during the closing process. Stewart Title offers the most robust and secure system to track transactions online available today. To learn more, contact Stewart Title at one of their many offices around the city. Stewart Title, online at stewart.com. That's STEWART.com.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Your host, Bill Nampick. And right now, we're going to talk to David B. Atkins. He is with Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And what a great company. We talk about real estate professionals in the city of Houston and beyond, but Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty is well known, of course, in Houston, but way beyond the scope of Houston and even Texas. Let's tell people, in case they're in Australia, though, let's tell them about your company.
Martha Turner Sotheby's International Realty, born and bred here in Houston. She's been around for about 40 years. They were acquired by Sotheby's about 4 years ago. They are number one in the market up to $250,000. They are number one in the market from $250,000 to $500,000. They are number one in the market from $500,000 to $1 million, and they are number one in the market $1 million and up. So several years ago, she came out with a commercial from $20,000 to $20 million.
I remember that. That was great because it shows that the focus is on serving buyers and sellers of whatever the home is, and there's so many applications. So it is. You're exactly right. It is just an awesome company. Martha Turner is incredible, and we love when your associates are on the show. In fact, Paul Killian, Sita. You have several Robins, Robin
Yes.
Connor, and
Suter.
Yes, Robin Suter. They're great. So we're glad and hope to see them again soon. But let's tell people, here we are at the end of the year, really at the end of the year because it's December. So let's tell people your perspective on the market right now and how's it looking as we're going to get out of the gates in 2018 in a few weeks. I can't believe I'm saying that.
The Board of Associations, the HAR, they really want to push out that the market's been fantastic, and I respectfully disagree. Since Harvey, just purgatory. There's a lot of people going through PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people struggling. My personal house flooded. My brother flooded. My mother's in a high-rise in Uptown Park. Her building was affected, so she had to spend a month at the Grand Duca. And there's just a lot of people that are waiting for FEMA checks. And as a result, we've had this lull in the market. I'm sure when you pull out micro data, which is what the board does, is they'll see home sales went up 2%. Well, there's also statistics that say an elephant can be supported by a mouse. So I'm not seeing it. None of my peers are seeing it. And that's price range from $150,000 up to $10 million. It's just not out there.
Well, what you're saying, too, I'll bring forth is you say your home actually flooded, my home actually flooded, and you used the term PTSD. Let me tell you something. From my perspective, I never realized how devastating, and I know people that are out there listening that have had their home flood or maybe even flooded more than once, and that's a scenario as well. However, if you had a dry home, all more power to you. However, I will tell you, it really, other than the financial burdens that this puts on you, it really can affect the psyche and also your maybe perhaps momentum. Yeah. So it's kind of tough. I think on the positive side, if we are able to get through this, and I know I'm fortunately at the other end of my flood experience, coming out the other end, starting to see the light, so I'm happy about that. But I still have to tell you, I don't even like when it rains anymore.
Yeah, I'm scared coming over here today.
Exactly. But no, so your flood experience, just maybe give us a word about that. You went to your house, probably like a lot of us, and you saw all this water, and you're like, oh my goodness, now what? Hardwood floors, drywall,
yeah.
It's horrible.
It's been tough. The FEMA has been very reluctant to want to replace a Rolex for a Rolex. They'll basically want to give you a Timex, even though you have a receipt for a Rolex. I'm just using that as an example.
That's a great example, by the way.
Any type of finish. If you have 7-inch wide plank floors compared to laminate floors, you may get $10,000 when you have a receipt for $25,000, which is what's happening in my situation. So what I'm seeing a lot of clients do, because they are going through this process of figuring out what's going to happen with their check, they've pressed pause on their home search. And now we're starting to see, just like you mentioned for yourself, we are very close to getting some sort of resolution with our FEMA adjuster. And for those that are not planning to redo the house, that are just waiting to get the money, and then they're going to have a fire sale, as you mentioned earlier in the show, and sell it to a builder to get redeveloped, they are then going to step back into the market. My prediction is going to be the first quarter of 2018. They're going to gobble up someone else's property that's been on the market for the past 3 to 6 months, and then that seller is going to have to find another property. So I actually see 2018 as one of the strongest years on record.
It could be very robust, and I think as we were talking earlier about taxes and the complexities there, and the things that most people don't know about, it's the same thing when we're talking about FEMA. That's a whole nother area, unless you're in this process, and even when you're in it, you don't want to know all the nuances because it's just too much to bear and to learn about. All you want to know about, going back to your example, is, look, I paid for a Rolex, I want a Rolex back, but with the laws and the different categories of things that but we can't do that, but here, just take this check and run. And that's pretty much what I think a lot of people end up doing, because they want the experience to be over. They want to go down the road and do something else.
Correct. There's almost a sense of capitulation that FEMA, I kind of think, maybe hoping that some of the homeowners are wanting. You have $100,000 worth of damage, and they're saying, well, we'll give you 50, or if you want to go for the 100, we'll go through a couple more steps, and you might get your money 6 months from now. A lot of people don't have the means to be able to pay their mortgage, the rent, 2 light bills, 2 water bills, all of the but all of the insurances and taxes that they're paying. And many of these people are paying $3,000 to $5,000 a month for housing while they're not even in their house. So can they afford another 6 months not in the home because they need that money to go through the remodel?
Very interesting. Now, looking on the bright side, we think that the market is going to be robust. No matter what happens, we need a place to live, whether we're renting something, whether we're buying something, whether we had a dry house or not. So let's think about, as this 2018 is well upon us, we're going to be seeing it here in a few weeks. When we think about serving, from your perspective, the buyers and sellers, what are some of the things that you prepare your sellers for here? And let's say they're saying, hey, David, January 1, I want to put my house on the market. What are some of the things that you coach them how to be ready for that?
Well, you only get one chance to make a first impression. And oftentimes you're going to be in a situation where there's some limited service brokers out there that will take photos with their iPhone, or they'll only put a few photos up, maybe 12 to 15 photos. HAR, one of the best websites, HAR.com, we now have endless portals of information that we can provide. So not only do you want to do professional photography, you also want to make sure that your home is staged properly. Less clutter. The more the house says you, the less it's going to say prospective buyer.
Now, wait a minute. Let's say that again. I've never heard it put so well. The less it says about me or my family.
Yeah, I don't want to feel like I'm a guest in a house that I'm potentially going to buy. I call them tribute walls. I love my kids. And when I go home today, I'm going to look at a wall of pictures with my children and their artwork and the whole 9 yards. However, when it's time to sell the house, I know I've got to take all that down, because I don't want people looking at my children and their artwork. I want them looking at the house.
That's exactly. It's almost like I'm starting to think, well, when we look for a new car, it'd be like if we're looking at that car that we're going to buy and it has somebody else's coffee mug or something else, or their coat or their tie or something like that. It's just, when we sell our home, it's a product, and we want it to be as attractive as possible for the next person. And we want them to envision buying and living in that home, right?
Yeah, you want to make an emotional connection, regardless of demographic. Part of what we do as realtors is we try to define who your target demographic is going to be. Is it going to be 2.2 with a white picket fence? Is it going to be a same-sex couple? Is it going to be empty nesters? Depends on the floor plan, the layout. If the bedroom's on the first floor, if there's a 3-story, it may not end up being someone who is an empty nester. So we try to frame the house in a manner that is going to target that, but at the same time, you don't want to completely do away with someone who is...
We don't want it to look like a hospital either.
Correct. You don't want it medicinal,
too generic.
Sterile. Correct.
It has to be inviting.
Has to have a soul.
And when you going back to that idea of professional photography, I know you have a discerning eye, and the top agents do. You just don't want a professional photographer. You want the right professional photographer out there, because the photography is really so important.
Yeah, there's I've got to get a plug out. TK Images.
No, we love those. They've been on the show.
Extraordinary people. The assets that they have on the team, a very discerning eye, as you said. they're able to frame the house and give proper perspective. They do very well. It's worth a couple $100 for those photos, but then you can't stop on photos. There's so much more that you should be providing. Every realtor, I got into real estate 7 years ago because it's the path of least resistance for realtors. They put a sign in the yard and they wait for a buyer to come. And there's no skin in the game. They don't do anything. They're not invested in the property. So for me, what I wanted to be able to do was provide a service that no one else in the industry provided. So as a result, I do have my warehouse of staging furniture. I have 42 sofas. It's a 6,800 square foot warehouse. I went out and bought a Matterport, which is a virtual tour camera, so that you can do.
And this is all just what you're doing.
What's an agent doing for their 3%?
There you go. Let's tell them again. So what you have furniture that you'll let people use to stage the home?
Yeah. So I have all sorts of vernacular. If you are a modern home, I have a home in Montrose now that's from 1917, so we put antiques in. You don't want to put something that you got from Roche-Beaubois into an arts and crafts home. So depending on the type of home, we try to match that style of home, that architecture, with the interior so it blends well. So you can imagine yourself moving in. If you're not moving in, you're moving on.
There you go. So let's say if I were to put my home on the market, we would have a consultation. You'd tell me about the property values and where I should put it price-wise. But if I said, well, David, my furniture I don't think is going to do, or maybe you'll tell me first. But if I say, hey, look, how can we make this home look better in your professional opinion? And knowing now that you have these resources, you'll actually help me maybe move my couch and put in a nicer couch or declutter, and you'll advise the seller. You
may have fantastic furniture. You just may have a little bit too much of it. You may have the tribute wall, as I mentioned earlier. Staging is not interior design. And so many realtors think it's interior design, and they want to play that game. Staging is about flow, proportion, scale, and more of a blank canvas with a little bit of soul in the house that we had talked about earlier. But you're not trying to be on the front cover of Architectural Digest. You're trying to create an emotion within the buyer that they can feel that they could move into this house. All they have to do is bring their suitcase. So if you have great furniture, I might not do anything with regards to bringing in furniture, but I might help you declutter so that they see more of the space and less of your assets.
So it sounds like, let's say, take the decluttering mode. It sounds like then someone might want to get a storage unit for a period of time, a couple months until the house is sold. So that might be another avenue for them to be ready to get this home sold.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If they have garage space, going to Big Lots or Marshalls or whatnot and getting those huge 20 cubic foot bins. Because we are in Houston, there's a lot of engineers here with the oil and gas business. If they see an organized garage, they automatically make the presumption that they probably change their air filter on time. They probably have a scheduled watering. If something breaks, they take care of it quickly because they see organization in closets and garages.
Organization is so important. You said that as a fantastic word, and you're right. Any part of the home, whether it's the garage, the outside, the curb appeal, anything is going to speak to what's happening everywhere else. If we see things in order on the outside, possibly when we open the drawer in the kitchen, it might be in order too.
We're hoping,
depending which
so.
drawer they open, right? Yeah. Okay, another quick word here as we prepare for the new year. What about the buyer? How are you coaching that buyer? They said, "Look, hey, I want to get through the holidays, David, but January 3rd, I want you and I to go look at homes and show me homes in this given price range." How are you preparing me for the buying experience in 2018?
So I have a little strategy with regards to buyers, and it's a very short conversation. But if you are looking at homes that are brand new on the market and you want to write a contract, if you're going to write a contract within the first week, you're probably going to pay pretty close to asking price. If it's been on the market for 2 weeks to a month, you might get a little bit of a discount. However, if you can find homes that have been on the market for 3 months, 6 months, even a year, you can sometimes steal those homes. So my January 3rd buyers that are looking to come in, they've got FEMA taken care of, or they're just ready to make the move. Let's take a look at the homes that you like. Let's kind of go through those homes, but let's also look at old inventory, because sometimes that old inventory is a little shop worn, and that's where you can get some instant equity because you can steal it, because they went through the entire Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, didn't get any offers. What's going on? The realtor on the other side, they're afraid they may lose their commission because they might want to relist it with someone else. So now instead of having an adversary, you have someone that's acting as an advocate. So they're trying to get the deal done because they want their little commission. and your buyer is going to be in a situation where sometimes they can get a great deal.
And what's fascinating is right there in that last paragraph, David, you point out that it's also a psychological experience in so many ways, and there's a strategy involved, whether you're buying or selling. That's so important. We must have our strategy in place, and quite frankly, if we buy something below the market that has been on the market for a while, you can save some money, and you can put that money into it and bring it up to speed so it is a dazzling property for the next time you want to sell it.
Exactly. Or sometimes you even have leverage where you can ask the current owner
to
handle those repairs prior to.
Love that. With the last 30 seconds, what else would you like people to know, David?
Take your time. Don't act on emotion when you're buying a house. Have your professional do their job. Provide a thorough market analysis. Make sure you get what you like and don't settle for something, because then you'll end up kicking yourself later, and then you'll call me sooner than you want to have to sell it again.
And how can people reach out to you, David?
Easiest way, best way is telephone. My phone number is 713-582-5111. My email address is david.atkins, like the diet, david.atkins at sotheby'shomes.com.
There you go. I forgot there used to be an Atkins diet.
Yeah.
Did you invent that?
If you look at my waistline, you don't think so.
You can call David at 713-582-5111. Again, 713-582-5111. David B. Atkins, Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty. Thank you, David, for being on the show.
Thank you.
We're coming right back. Stay with us with even more on Real Estate Matters.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Tyler, your host, Bill Nampick. And now let's talk about some new homes, brand new homes. That's what we all want. John Obregon, he is the president of Imagine Modern Homes right here in Houston. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Doesn't everybody want a new home? I mean, why we want something brand new? That's what we like, right?
I believe so.
And that's what you're providing people. Let's tell people about your company, John.
So it is a modern, ultra modern construction company working with, designing ultra modern homes in the Houston area.
And when we say ultra modern homes, give us an idea of what that is. It sounds like certainly they're new, but what is the ultra modern part?
It's I believe it's a little bit different. It's kind of pushing the product or pushing the idea to the next level with design, with the look and the finishes.
That sounds fascinating. That makes me want to go to the website right now. Is the website imaginemodernhomes.com?
Yes, it is.
There you go, almost like I'm clairvoyant or something. But anyway, yeah, so people could go right now to that website, or if they're driving, they can stop and then go to the website, and we'll see a little bit of what's different. Where are the homes that you're offering?
They are located in the Museum District, kind of in between downtown and the Med Center.
So that's a great, and I guess that's just a very popular area right now.
It is. It is some pretty cool, interesting things are happening down there. Pretty nice homes, designs, and I'm not the only one out there, but it looks really good.
Give us a word on the price point of the homes that you're offering.
I'm in the 800s to a little over $1 million on the product that I do have at the moment.
And let's take the 800 mark. How many square feet can we get for 800 of these brand new ultra modern homes?
3,200 square feet and above.
That sounds pretty nice.
It's pretty big.
Now, the idea, and as you mentioned, there are certainly competitors in everything we do. So it sounds like part of your strategy has been to provide something the product's a little different, and as you're saying, going to another level.
It is. It's a little different. It's more of a, I kind of want to say a West Coast style home. Not many people are doing it in Houston. It's a little out of the box, but it's a little creativity that I like to, kind of run with. And I just really hope that people will like it.
That sounds fascinating. So far, how are sales going? Let's say here we are at the very end of the year. How are we winding up here for the year so far?
I'm hoping we're able to move some product. We have a few more coming on the market within the next, now, but they should be completed. So we're looking to sell some real estate.
So then, let's say January 1st, there's going to be some homes, some selections for people if they want to, if they put their search on pause right now and they want to come back strong and say, I'm ready to buy that home January 15th. You might have something for them, right?
We do. We have some.
And how is your outlook as you project as a business owner? You are the president of the company. How's your outlook as you look forward to 2018? Nobody has a crystal ball, but what's your feel for the marketplace?
It's coming around. It did kind of slow down there for a while. I think that with we are one of the largest cities in the country, so
they say the fourth largest.
We are, and so we have a diverse. What I like to think is a diverse, buyer. We're not just oil and gas. We're med center, so it's interesting. But I think that 2018 will be a good year.
So when the people that are buying your homes right now, do you find, are they from the Houston area, or better yet, how many people are coming from outside Houston to buy the homes? What do you think?
I think it's mixed. It's a different buyer, and so I think it's both.
And when we talk about, we talk to realtors all the time on this show, and it's already been mentioned today, and that is that the real estate professional has to do so many things. The negotiating, they have to be aware of all the laws, all those things, deal with emotions and personalities and so much more. As far as someone that's building homes, right there, when I think about just as buying a home that's existed and not having the pleasure of having a brand new home, but a home that's been existing, there's so many components to a home. You've got plumbing, you've got building codes, you've got foundations. As someone building brand new homes, how do you stay up with all the things and the complexities of building a home right now in 2017 and 18?
It's
a lot of details, right?
It is. I want to say it's challenging, but it's not. I look to, when it's me as a company, and I do what's right. I just look to do it right. I don't cut any corners, so I think that when you do those things right, you shouldn't have any problems.
And you have air conditioning systems. Right now, this time of year, people are cranking up heaters. Really, and all those things. And I'm saying this because the home, when we pay $800,000, $300,000, or $1 million for a home, so many things go into the home. Correct. Outside of the location.
Correct.
We're buying something that we're going to build our memories and all those things. But the plumbing systems, the walls, the electrical codes. I don't know how you guys do all that. That's a lot of stuff.
Well, you just got to find the best guys and the best product.
That's right.
And
so
you build the best product.
There you go. So when did you first get interested in building, by the way?
It's been about 6 to 7 years. Did some partnerships with properties in the Heights, and then gradually moved into the Museum District with that vision of when I would travel. I've always loved the modern look and the modern feel.
Something that has captured you about that modern look, and now you're sharing it with others. People can go to imaginemodernhomes.com. I'm going to do that right after the show, imaginemodernhomes.com, and see what we're talking about with this ultra-modern home. John, let's tell people how they can reach out to you. We're talking to John Obregon. He's the president of Imagine Modern. How can they reach you, John?
Well, I can be reached on my mobile or email. Email is john@imaginemodernhomes.com. Mobile's 281-673-7347.
Give John a call at 281-673-7347, and in the beautiful Museum District right here in Houston. That's a great spot.
It is.
That's where you need to have that ultra-modern home. Do you have plans to expand outside of the Museum District when you sell all those homes?
From here, headed to the Woodlands.
There you go. We'll talk to you in 2018 in the Woodlands. Thank you, John, for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, go to imaginemodernhomes.com. John Obregon. We're coming right back.
Most Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, your host, Bill Nampick. And now we have a very successful entrepreneur here. People in the real estate community in Houston know Taylor Waidhofer. He is with Houston Real Producers. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Excited to be here.
Very exciting, as always. Let's tell people, first of all, you do a few things. And I mentioned Houston Real Producers. Let's tell them what that is.
Houston Real Producers is a platform for the top 500 agents to be able to network, meet, and build their business through affiliate vendors that are supporting their business in the Houston real estate community already.
And to give people an idea, whether they're in Houston, they may know this, they may not, or if they're outside of the Houston area listening to this show, in Houston, Texas, there's a lot of real estate people that have, there are a lot of people that have a real estate license. However, in like many professions, it's just, I'm thinking of acting all of a sudden. In the acting world, there's a lot of people that are actors, but there's a handful that are really doing a great job and producing for themselves and others.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's the old 80-20 rule. You know, there's 30,000 plus real estate agents, and we're catering to the to the upper echelon. So the top 500, they're responsible for 70,000 real estate transactions annually. So, it's the best of the best for sure.
And people can learn so much reading this publication. Let's tell them again the name of the publication.
Houston Real Producers is the name.
And I love the format. Each month you focus on a top producer, and we can learn from them. We learn a little bit about their lives, some of their success principles, but you focus, and I guess you're just learning from these people all the time. It's fascinating.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the most motivating group of people that have the experience to, or the privilege, I guess, to learn what their business is like on the inside and the out. And yeah, it's exactly right. So each month we put one of the top 500 agents on the cover. We do a story. It's a look on their personal and professional lives. I think a lot of times a lot of people know some of the top people, but they might not really know. They just know what they've done. They know their production. They see their numbers, but they don't have an inside look at these people. And so it's good.
And I'll also say, and I say this on the show, the real estate professional has to be and do so many things and have, it's not easy. And what's interesting is when we watch TV, the realtors that are shown there selling multi-million-dollar properties, they make it look easy, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of my friends, they just laugh at
really?
Some of those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's just not necessarily reality, but
it's entertaining, though. We have to say that.
It's entertaining, and it's reality TV, so go figure.
And however, it's just fascinating. The real world of real estate it can be very rewarding, and the people you're talking to are enjoying those rewards, and they're exceeding expectations with their buyers and sellers. However, it's a lot of hard work and so many components to being a successful real estate professional.
Yeah, there are, and I think back because, again, I have the privilege of talking to some of the greats within the real estate community here in Houston, and one of the more motivating interviews I did was with Lance Logan. He was on the August cover, him and his team. I think they're up to 62 or 63 people now. And, there's a handful of takeaways, from that interview, one of which, they do a vision board section in September for the whole team. And, his team's so big now, everybody gets up and explains their goals and stuff. And, being able to, just move goals from one side of the vision board to the next, watching his team, hit marks, watching his team go to the next level. And that's what juices him. So it's not necessarily, I want to be the number one realtor in Houston, but watching his team thrive and success, and then therefore he's grown tremendously as well. And great story. And Lance, if you're watching, thank you. I appreciate it.
And also, Taylor, let's tell people, in addition to Houston Real Producers, you're also involved with closing gifts for real estate professionals. At the closing table, it is customary to give gifts sometimes. Tell them about the closing gifts, the beautiful closing gifts that you offer.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So Coco Closing Gifts is what put me on the map in the real estate community in Houston. I've had that business for about 10 years, and one of my favorite stats when I'm talking to a group of realtors is annually about $550 million are spent on gifts, and that's a lot of money, right? And it's
That's
all
a lot of money.
It's all gifts, and it's all gift cards and baskets and alcohol and consumable stuff that they're not going to have. And I'm sure I have a handful of clients that are watching this, and thank you for buying Cutco and not wasting your marketing dollars. But yeah, they're going to remember them because we engrave their name and their logo on the product, and their clients keep it forever.
And the quality of a Cutco knife or other sharp item that you sell, they're Cutco, Cutco.
Right.
One of the it is the finest knife out there for whether it's in the kitchen or outside of the kitchen. Tell them a brief word about that, and then how they can reach you.
Let's see, best knife, number one knife company on the planet. We're the best. So
In-home sharpening, right?
yeah, we do. My team will come to your house and sharpen anything Cutco in your home for free. How to reach me? If you're on Facebook Live, message me here. Otherwise, if it's on the radio, 713-906-5154. You can email me, taylorwaidhofer@gmail.com. And yeah, 713-906-5154, or hit me on Facebook.
So we can find out about those two things. Houston Real Producers. It'll be interesting to see the people that you'll get to interview in these next couple months in 2018. That's going to be very exciting. Or you can call Taylor for the Cutco closing gifts, those knives, at 713-906-5154. Again, 713-906-5154. The cutting edge, right, Taylor?
That's it. Best of the best, baby. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much for being on Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title, and we're going to take a short break and come right back with even more. And welcome back, Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. And now, we're brought to you every week, 201 shows. That's right. That is the serial number of this show. We are brought to you every week by Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. We talked about assessed values, taxes. One of our other favorite topics is insurance. If you need home, car insurance, broker E&O, umbrella insurance, watercraft insurance. Oh, yeah, how about a little flood insurance? Just call Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Easy to find at 866-845-4676, 845-4676. That's where I got my flood insurance, my home insurance. They take care of you in a magnificent way. They handle insurance for all these needs. Just give them a call. And one of the great things about Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, other than getting a better price sometimes, the service that they offer at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is incredible because you can talk to people. You can call and actually have a human answer the phone, and you can talk to them about your insurance needs. You can get a quote. You can make sure that you have all the bases covered because insurance can be very complex. So let the experts at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management talk with you, and you can get a quote. Also, go to Stewart.com. I didn't even cover all the kinds of insurance. However, Stewart.com, the very first page of our website, you'll see the menu of residential and commercial offerings in insurance. So they're right there at Stewart.com. And if you're listening outside of Houston, they service all 50 states. So you can get that home. Let's say you're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. You can get car insurance from Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Or let's say you're in Laguna Beach and you're driving that Ferrari, going surfing. Get the car insurance at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Give them a call. Go to Stewart.com. By the way, there's so many great things on the website at Stewart.com. You can find out about title insurance. People buy title insurance and close real estate transactions all the time, but a lot of times they don't even know what title insurance does for them. They just want to get the keys or the check at the closing. Very important to know what that title insurance policy does for you. You can find out at Stewart.com. And once again, we were devastated by this Hurricane Harvey. We bounced back. Oh, yeah. But if you didn't have flood insurance, I would strongly recommend you can get flood insurance at Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, Stewart.com. Go to the website and give them a call if you want to talk to some of the really, really nice people like Tom Carpentier, Brittany Taggart, Michelle Steffen. They're awesome at 866-845-4676. That's right, Stewart.com. And now our guests come back for the final segment of the show. He is Ali Gilan. He is with American Property Tax. Oh, yeah, insurance and taxes. We love those words. Staples of the human environment right here in the United States. He is a senior property tax consultant. Ali, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Super awesome. You know, taxes are fun. I could tell you're having a good time every day.
Absolutely.
Now, let's tell people, what else should we know about the tax process of the homes? And you're also handling commercial properties as well. But share a little more words with us.
Well, as I was saying earlier, if you guys are too, busy to kind of go through and sift through all the sales that, HAR and the evidence that HCAD provides, there's a service out there. They charge $75 per home, and they give you a downloadable PDF version of the evidence you can easily present to HCAD to get a reduction. And those sales basically have already been adjusted per the district's adjustment guidelines. So all you have to do is go to jubeally.com.
How do you spell that?
JUBALLY.com. And you put your address in there for free, and it'll tell you, yes, your house qualifies for this amount of reduction. If, of course, this is if the appraiser approves it. But these are all we've used their services for many years, and I'm 100% with them so far. I haven't lost a single hearing with using their evidence.
And let's tell them the website again.
It's JUBALLY, jubeally.com.
So it sounds very simple, Ali, because they're right there before that people spend the money to protest the tax. Let's say they can get, I guess, some guidance just by plugging the numbers in, I guess.
Absolutely. And if you're...
That's too good to be true, almost. Seriously.
Well, there's been occasions where I've entered in my clients' addresses, and it shows up and it says, I'm sorry, there's no, your value's good where it's at, because the houses are selling for more in the neighborhood. So it doesn't always give you a winning ticket there.
So it's not always going to tell you what you want. However, it's going to give you some really solid guidance, it sounds like.
Exactly. Now, if it comes back saying that you don't qualify for a reduction, you should be happy. Your value's fine. Your neighborhood is appreciating in value. I mean, that's the silver lining.
That's still good news. So very nice. So once again, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Okay. So my phone number is 281-240-0101. Extension 302, and my name is Ali Gilan. I'm with American Property Tax.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And now he is back, David Atkins with Martha Turner, Sotheby's International Realty. I got it all out. David, what else should people know about what you're doing in helping buyers and sellers at Martha Turner's?
Now's really a good time to buy. If you can find something, it's the end of the year. Sometimes you might be able to get a nice deal on a house. There's a lot of developers out there that are hoping to clear inventory and get started on the next projects. They have opportunity costs that they don't want to miss for the first quarter. So some of the best times to buy are the fourth quarter. Don't miss out. I think
so. Yeah, and also, and if you don't buy in this quarter, I will tell you it's a good time to plan, because we might have some vacation time where we can actually plan our real estate adventure.
An adventure it is.
And an adventure it always is. Well, David, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Again, mobile is 713-582-5111. Email address is david.atkins@sotheby'shomes.com.
And let's remind people, too, you're going above and beyond to help especially the sellers and the buyers. But tell them, again, some of those features that you're offering. You're staging homes. You're getting the right photographer. What else?
Staging the homes, the Matterport virtual tours, those two homes that we have just recently put on the market with Imagine Modern Homes, staged perfectly for a modern home, just works very nicely.
So you've seen that ultra-modern home.
They're some of the best I've seen.
Give David a call at 713-582-5111. Thank you so much, David. He's back. Speaking of ultra-modern homes, Mr. Ultra-Modern John Obregon. John, let's tell people how they can reach out, and also let's tell them the website so they want to see that ultra-modern home.
So you can reach me at 281-673-7347. That's my mobile. Or you can reach me via email. It's john@imaginemodernhomes.com. If you want to take a look at the homes, you feel free to go to HAR. You can enter 4712 LaBranch and 4710 LaBranch. Or you can visit the site, and it's imaginemodernhomes.com.
At 281-673-7347. So let's say, John, someone wants a log cabin. Maybe not the place to go?
I could probably make it happen.
He could get
it's gonna look a little boxy, but it will be a cabin.
There you go. Clean lines in the log cabin, no doubt about it. Thank you, John, for being on the show. I can't wait to see these homes. And thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Oh yeah, the show's ending at the time of broadcast, but does it really end? No, because you can always see it at stewart.com/Houston. Oh yeah, all shows, all 201. Well, I think we're missing the first episode. However, Go to Stewart.com/Houston, Stewart.com/Houston, or go to Bill Napick Radio Shows where you can even see the guests. Until next week, thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show, and thank you, Christina Sacco, for bringing these fine guests. We'll see you next week. Stewart.com/Houston.